20 years after Carthage fell, Tertia barely remembered the girl who had once been called Alyssa. That person felt like a dream, something that happened to someone else long ago, in a city that no longer existed. Here's the darkest truth of all. Rome didn't do this because Romans were uniquely evil. They did it because they had to. The Roman economy was structurally dependent on slavery, at a level few people understand. At the empire's peak, between 25 and 40% of the Italian population were slaves. Rome itself had around 400,000 slaves out of 1 million inhabitants. The great agricultural estates that fed the legions ran entirely on slave labor. The mines that produced the silver to pay the soldiers used slaves until they dropped dead. The aqueducts, roads, and construction projects were all built on disposable human bodies. Without this endless supply of free labor, the entire Roman system would grind to a halt. The senators who ran the empire knew it. And here's the problem with disposable bodies: they run out. Slaves died, got sick, aged out of useful labor. The Roman system didn't allow for natural reproduction to replace them fast enough. They needed fresh supplies constantly, which meant they needed new conquests constantly. Every decade without a major war meant fewer slaves entering the market. Fewer slaves meant agricultural crisis. Agricultural crisis meant hungry legions. And hungry legions meant political instability. It was a machine that had to keep feeding or it would collapse. So Rome kept conquering, kept destroying cities, kept processing women and children into the slavery pipeline, not out of sadism, but out of economic necessity. The addiction metaphor isn't poetic exaggeration, it's structural reality. When the conquest finally stopped in the 2nd and 3rd centuries AD, when the borders stabilized and new slaves stopped flowing in, the system began to collapse. Slave prices skyrocketed, agriculture failed. The empire started transitioning to a different system of tenant farmers bound to the land. The end of Roman expansion wasn't just military decline, it was withdrawal. An economy built on human trafficking learning to live without its fix. The scars of that addiction would last for centuries. The terror created by Roman methods changed everything. Communities across the Mediterranean developed elaborate systems to protect their women, underground hideouts, networks of caves and tunnels where families could hide during raids. Archaeological discoveries confirm these shelters across former Roman provinces, from Britain to North Africa.
To watch the full video, click the link given in the description or visit the